Candace.
You.
I'm grateful for this group and giving me tremendous support, being a dual agent and being able to grow my business.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. Anybody else?
I'll share.
Thank you. Hey, Heather.
Hi, good morning. I did an open house this weekend, and I had a lady come through, and she was like very adamant. She didn't have an agent, didn't want to use an agent, didn't trust agents. And then afterwards, on my sign-in sheet, where I have like a little questionnaire, and I asked, "What did you like most about the house?" She put me. And so now I've spoken with her, and now she has an agent, and it's me. So I'm grateful for open houses.
I love that. I love that. That's
That's
just
awesome.
That's fantastic, and I totally get it. I think sometimes people they've heard of something, or they know somebody, or they've had a bad experience, and when they meet somebody who they feel they can trust, or who might care about them, or who's honest with them, it gives them a second chance to be helped. And I love that you did that. Just absolutely love that.
Well, what it was, and that's exactly what it was. Everybody had lied, like not specifically about this, but she said every agent just told her whatever she needed to hear to get them to either be their agent or like buy the house. And it was a townhome, and the bedrooms were pretty small. Even the master was pretty small. And so she told me she had king-sized furniture, and the way the walls were arranged, there was only one place her bed could go, which would dictate where her dresser would go. And she asked me if her king-size furniture suite would fit in that room. And I told her no, that it wouldn't fit. There was, if you got it to fit, there'd be no walking around room. It would be very cramped. And she said, I'm the only one that's ever told her that. Everybody else had said, yeah, like it'll fit. So.
Wow. So just being honest, being integrous, being honest. Yeah. People, I think I'm not that great a judge of character. I'm like a golden retriever. I like everybody, but I think I do, and I think all of us do. We resonate with somebody who is being honest with us, or is truthful. And sometimes I felt like when I'm showing homes, I'm trying to talk people. I feel like Dustin trying to talk people out of a listing appointment, because I try and talk them out of the home, because I'll point out things and I'll say, you told me this, but look at this. This doesn't work. And I think that kind of honesty keeps people, it inspires trust. They know that you're not just trying to work for the transaction. So anybody else want to share gratitude? Good job, Heather.
Thank you.
We've got time.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Well, I was looking at the huddle from last week, because I'm working full time and a little behind, and I am thankful for joining Color. Just seeing them take a whole hour trying to figure out how to help agents and help them grow their business, and just bouncing ideas off each other, trying to troubleshoot to make things work. Made me more confident in my decision to join Keller. And I'm excited, looking forward to getting to know everyone and building my business and learning and helping as well. And thanks for, I don't know if anyone is on this call, but the other agents that don't have to, but are willing to volunteer their time and knowledge to help others. I think it's awesome. I'm thankful for those things.
It's interesting you say that, and I agree with you. I'm completely grateful for that. I invited somebody who's a co-op agent to Joanne Curtin's listing presentation today, and I said, would you like to come to a listing presentation, and see how somebody who nets $1 million a year does their presentation? He was like, really? And I said, yeah. And I know what was going through his mind. First of all, he was thinking, if she makes $1 million a year, why is she spending her time in the office teaching a class? And secondly, anybody can go to that. It was pretty remarkable. He couldn't come, unfortunately, but he was like, can you please let me know when something else happens like that? And I said, sure.
Absolutely.
We do have a culture that's unlike any other. And I can speak from experience, because I've been with, gosh, over 21 years, I've been with maybe 10 different brokerages. And
Mhm.
there's, first of all, most team meetings are, let's just put it this way, you don't need to take a sleeping pill. It's just yawn, yawn, yawn. And you don't learn anything. It's just rah, rah, it's just rah, rah, rah. And it doesn't give you any meat to go out and do what you need to do. So we are very fortunate, and I thank you for bringing that up. So
You're
we're
welcome.
gonna, thank you. So we're gonna talk, does anybody else have anything they want to say before we get started? Okay, so we're going to talk about how to build your bio this morning. And like I said, it's one of the hardest things to do because it's hard to write about ourselves. So I've got some tips and tricks, and I wanted to share my screen, and I'll post, oh, you know what? Let me quickly save this as a PDF. I'll post it right after, just so we can keep going. So again, in the effort to teach everyone to be resourceful, I'm not an expert at writing a bio. So what I did over the weekend is I researched a lot of different sites that had tips on how to write a killer bio. And that was my exact question, how to write a killer bio. And there were a lot of different sources that came up. And I found out a lot about writing a bio. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. So you want to start here, you want to keep it targeted. And this is where a lot of agents make mistakes, me included. You want to know who your client avatar is. If you're targeting investors, your bio wants to speak to investors. If you're targeting first-time home buyers, and it doesn't mean that if you just target first-time home buyers in your bio, that you're not going to have other people in other niches, but it just means if your bio is so broad that it speaks to everyone, then you're in competition with every other agent. Whereas if you speak to only investors, you're in competition only with the realtors who specialize in investors, and it limits the pool of people you're in competition with. So you want to put yourself in their shoes. You want to think about what would you want to know if you, so for instance, let's say your client avatar, my client avatar are families that are upgrading. And the reason I chose that, and I'll just be, in case anybody wants to have that as their client avatar, my client avatar is people who are upgrading, families who are upgrading, because I know then they might have a home to sell, and then there's a buy side as well. So that's 2 transactions per person. It made sense to me. Plus I understand that genre or that niche. So I want to think about if I were that family and I were upgrading, what would I want somebody to say to me that would make me want to work with them? And they want to, mostly what they want to know is that you have some expertise and that you're trustworthy, right? Just like Heather demonstrated. And then you want to share something about yourself because you want to create a personal connection. I want them to know me as a person, and I could do that a number of different ways. I can say, I've been in Georgia for, gosh, since 1977. I can say that, I absolutely am passionate about things to do and events at Alpharetta or Roswell or wherever it is you work. I can talk about, the charities that I support. We can talk about our community involvement. You can also, and we'll get down to that, you can also use personal quotes. So pick your niche and keep your bio targeted to them. So for instance, and I'm going to get into I'm going to show you some examples of bios. Keep it simple. This is something I've got a coach right now that is helping me build my brand and create some content. And one of the things that we have to do, we have to submit our homework, and then it's approved by this content department before we can move on in the modules. And one of the things they say is our content has to be able to be read by a 4-year-old, because people just don't have the time anymore. We scroll, 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 scroll. So getting really wordy and getting really, it's, how can I say this? I like to write so that my intelligence shows, but that's not what people need to hear in a bio. They need to see very quickly who you are and what you're about. So think about the attention span that you have for reading. If you were looking at somebody's bio, you're going to probably look at the first paragraph and maybe the last paragraph and skim through the rest of it. So you want to keep it really short and simple. Dump it down and ask yourself when you're writing it, who cares? And why would someone want to know me? Those are good questions to ask. 2 to 3 paragraphs max. That's about all the time you have to get somebody's attention. And it's really important to write it in the third person. There's been arguments about that back and forth, but the consensus is that it should be written in the third person. So you want to keep it local. You want to specify the area that you specialize in. And again, you know, if you specialize in Roswell and you get a client who wants you to go to Noonan, you can still go to Noonan if you want to, and it will happen. It doesn't mean that everybody is going to just only call you if they live in Alpharetta. If they like you, they'll call you from wherever. But it will help you to stay. I think it's more productive if you can work in the area that you live in so that you're not driving all day long, right? You can show 5 houses in your area as opposed to showing 2 because you had to drive an hour to Stockbridge or to Noonan. And add a bullet point about that area or an adjective. So for instance, you know, awesome Alpharetta has awesome Alpharetta, right? That's you can look up the website, awesome Alpharetta. Or I might say Roswell, Home of Cultural Arts Center, something like that. Okay, keep it true to yourself. This is really an important tip. You want to know who you are, know your disc, and utilize it in your bio. Because you're going to connect with people, on that level as well. So if you're a high I, meaning influential, use adjectives or tell a story. If you're analytical, stick with statistics. If you're an analytical would of course be the S. If you're a C, talk about how your clients feel or you feel about helping them. And if you're a D, demonstrate your expertise. So you can utilize those to kind of, if you're saying, what do I write? Write it in that tone. And then 5 is keep it tested for effectiveness. And that means let your family and friends read it. Ask them, would you want to work with me? And sometimes I think it's good if you you need to know that your friends are honest and your family's honest, and they're not just going to go, oh, honey, that's fine. That's just wonderful. You want to make sure that you're getting somebody who actually will tell you the truth. And don't be upset when you've crafted this and you've spent your time crafting this, and then somebody critiques it and it's not what you want to hear. Take that criticism and use it, and don't get your feelings hurt. And there's a resource, if you're just starting, there's a resource I'll post in here. It's where you can get templates for your bio. And then there's an exercise, and I was because we're gonna have some time after this, I want to show you a couple of bios and why they work. And then, but for an exercise, write out your bullet points. And so for instance, you might say, like, let me see if I can find mine. I had it and then I decided not to share it, but it says, Candace story, bullet point, from St. Louis, moved to Georgia in 1977. 2, passionate about helping families upgrade. 3, top 100 realtors, name top 100 realtors based on ethics, integrity, and volume. 4, and then you just go down the bullet points. And so I wanted to also, for those of you who are visual, because I know some of us are, I did these 3 circles. Can you see these? Can everybody see the 3 circles?
Yes.
Yeah, Candace.
Okay, good. So this breaks it down into 3. This is a different way to think about your bio, and this breaks it down into 3 different ways. Your client avatar, what do they want? You want to address that. And what are you especially good at, and where do you excel, and where they overlap is your unique selling proposition, or UVP, unique value proposition. And then your client avatar, it all revolves around them. What do they want? And then if you go down here, what do you want them to do? And where that intersects is your call to action. So any questions so far? Okay.
No.
Okay. Is this helpful so far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the bio, right? Okay, so here's one of the websites I found, and this was the 14 best real estate bios for a competitive edge. And I was just going to say, one of the things you can do is you can Google some of the top agents and see what their bios say about them, and kind of copy them. So this actually dissects. This is somebody who's in Atlanta, and she says, let me see if I can scroll down here. She says, have fun with your bio. And you can go on here and read these afterwards. This is Follow Up Boss, and it's followupboss.com/blog/real estate. I'll post this in the chat as well. But what she does is it talks about, oh, and this is a really important part. When you write your bio in the third person, use quotes, personal quotes, one or two, to make it personal, so that it brings that's a great way to bring your personality in. So for instance, she doesn't actually do this, but you can read what she says. And then this one uses why it works. They analyze it, tells a story, combines background credentials and realtor awards, demonstrates community involvement, and makes you want to meet her. This is one where he uses quotes. Show all sides of your personality. He talks about being licensed in Missouri, and then he talks about what his business is built on, his core. And then he gives a quote: just as the real estate industry evolves to become more innovative and efficient, so do I. And then he says, rest assured, I will listen to you with an understanding of your needs and wants. I will do my best to help you achieve them all. Doesn't say how long he's been in business, right? What I Googled was bios for new realtors, because it's not always important to say the length of time you've been in business. He doesn't talk about that at all. He just says he's licensed. And then he talks about his personality and what his core is. I love this bio. Why it works: multidimensional, calls out other roles such as entrepreneur, tech enthusiast, and athlete. It tells who he is. Mixes a use of third person and first person voice to give it personal yet professional tone.
Hey Candace, can you slide your computer over a little bit? It's showing me the side.
Oh, let's see here. Let's see.
I see it okay, Candace. I don't know.
I do too, yeah.
Is it better now? Well, I'm going to post the link to this so you can go and read it yourself when you're doing your bio. But and it includes a concise but powerful animation to add visual interest. So he puts his picture up there. Okay, and then Barry Jenkins, lead with your values. So he talks about that his realty brand came about by one main thought: the golden rule. So right away, you know that he's a good guy, right? I mean, that's the above approach. Now he talks about his achievements. Honestly, I mean, we as realtors are impressed by each other's achievements, but people don't care about that. They don't care. Nobody really cares about that you sold 20 million in real estate. I mean, it might be in the back of your head, well, yeah, that's somebody who's busy, or, you know, but it doesn't even enter my mind that might make somebody an expert, because they might sell 100 homes a year and not be great at it. You know, they just might be really busy. So don't worry if you're a new agent that you don't have years of experience and lots of awards. I think they can be off-putting, because really when you think about making your message, it's kind of like you're sending you're kind of sending a message to those who might want to work with you. And if you make it all about you, even though it has to be somewhat about you, it doesn't really connect with them. You want to make it about them, right? What are you going to do for them? Why are you qualified to do something for them? And why should they trust you? That's kind of, if you think about it like that, it's the same way as when you go on a listing appointment. If you're thinking, oh my gosh, you know, oh, are they going to like me? What am I going to say? Da, 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 da. Well, it's all about you. But if you go in and focus on them and what you can do to help them, it takes a lot of that freaking out aspect away. Okay, and then here, why this works: he clearly differentiates from other agents. He said the golden rule. I would probably, if I were going to copy that and rip off and duplicate, I would say the platinum rule, because the platinum rule, the golden rule is treat people the way you want to be treated. The platinum rule is treat people the way they want to be treated. So I would probably even up that game. He ties everything back to one core value. It has an excited and energetic tone. And then Leslie Woods, her advice is know your prospect. So she represents the Peninsula homeowners and future homeowners. She's committed to listening to her clients' needs and utilizing her keen negotiating skills to ensure a successful transaction. This talks about that she was raised on the peninsula. She understands the benefits of living in Silicon Valley. And then she's become an esteemed realtor. She talks about the past 8 years, but you could say Ebony has become an esteemed realtor, highly regarded by her clients and professionals in the field. Doesn't have to say the length of time that you've been in business. And it has a compelling headline, matches her experience with that of her prospects, highlights relevant community connections. Oh, this is the other thing she does. Leslie showcases her home on her website and utilizes a team of professional service providers to assist with her clients' buying, selling needs, including stagers, painters, designers, handymen, and inspectors. I love this for new agents because this is a way that you can build your credibility without having years in business because of your team of vendors. So she matches her experience with that of her prospects, highlights relevant community connections, and prospects can see themselves in her bio. Best line, I love this. She is communicative, thorough, and detail oriented, and she'll be alongside you every step of the way. That makes me want to work with her. So this is another one, Preston Guy, one company, endless possibilities. You could put your tagline at the top of your bio. That if you think about your bio being on your website, you can design it, and the layout of it should be visually appealing. You see how some of these, hers is kind of a little box with her in front of a home and a sell for sale sign. His shows his little circle. It's kind of like an Instagram photo, and then he's got his bio on to the left, and it's really short. I would read this bio. If I were scrolling through, I'd be like, okay, I can handle that one, as opposed to one that's like on and on and on. So, let's see, it says, with a vision to simplify the custom home process by offering real estate, design, and construction services under one roof. He works with clients who are building new homes. That's his niche. So if I'm building a new home, I'm going to talk to him. If I just am even buying a home, I might want to talk to him. So differentiates the brand, completely customer centric, lets readers know they can get everything they need under one roof. And then the best line, Preston Guyton started CRG Companies in 2010 as a Myrtle Beach local with a vision to simplify the custom home process by offering real estate, design, and construction services under one roof. And this is Matt Larsey, say a lot with the little. So he gets people excited with just 3 little sentences. So he's a 3rd-generation realtor. He's a managing broker for AmeriCorp, a company his father started. He has his own team. The Matt Larsey group is hard work. I don't want to spend too much time on this one because he's got a team. I like this one, make it simple and effective. He's a native. He spent summers, so if you spent summers doing something in a certain area, or you went to Hell, your family enjoyed going to Helen on the weekends because you lived so close. And then he purchased his first home. He talks about that. He talks about what he fills his time with, boating and laking, because there might be a lot of people in this area who enjoy boating and laking on Lake Seneca. I'm sorry, boating and enjoying Lake Seneca. So why it works, he includes fun facts. He clearly explains his connection to the area. He highlights his status as a native resident and expert. I love this next one. I do. Add a personal video. You can add a video in your bio on your website, and then people really get an idea. So if I was like, I'm Candace Story, I am so excited to be talking with you today. I work in Alpharetta. I love Alpharetta. Whatever it is, that's lame. But I'm going to talk about Alpharetta is the home of the Verizon Amphitheater, where you can go see the best acts and spend time outdoors, enjoying the fresh air. It might be something like that. But at least people get to know that I'm enthusiastic, and they get to know that they get to see me and they get to hear my voice and to decide if it's a good fit or not. This highlights his key achievements. It shows his caliber. I don't worry about that one, but I like that this one used video. Are there any questions so far?
No.
Okay. So these are some other ones. Patricia Ford, she puts social proof front and center. I love the way this starts. Meet Trish Ford. That's like, wow, you're meeting somebody important, right? Let's see what she says. Trish understands what it's like to stand in her client's shoes. Boom. If I'm reading that, I want to work with her if I'm a client. Because she's relocated several times, buying and selling several houses of her own. And it's afforded her a sense of sensitivity toward her client's journey, which can be attributed to the firsthand perspective she gained through her personal experience. That's awesome. Now she's a longtime resident of the area. Talks about her 3 kids. So, and then she puts in a client testimonial, what I call client success stories. Trish was a tremendous asset in selling her home. She suggested a strategy that helped us to not only sell our house quickly, but also to get several immediate offers, some of which were over asking price. We would work again with Trish anytime and highly recommend her. She's passionate, diligent, and very responsive. What's great about this is it's somebody talking about her. Hers is a little longer than I think I would scroll through, but I would probably, if I saw the quotes, stop and read the quotes, and you could add 1 or 2 client success stories at the end when you get them. And that's her social proof or testimonials. Okay, so this one is list your awards and achievements. Let's skip over that. Create a killer team bio. Let's skip over that. Optimize, I like this one too. Optimize the design and layout of your bio. Look how cool this looks. Ellen Gruber. She talks about her client testimony. This one I would read because it's not just run on like the one that was up here. See how long that looks? That looks painful to get through. This one, the way it's laid out, she's got her client testimonials over on the left. She's got her about, it's 1 paragraph, which is very doable. So these will give you some ideas for writing your bios. It's great to, hers is great to look at. Testimonials from previous clients highlights experience, feels personal, and includes a call to action. And that's one of the things that I haven't seen in any of the other bios. So it's, let's see what her call to action is. Well, I don't see, oh, work with, here it is right here, work with Ellen Gruber. She's got a button where you can click work with Ellen Gruber. That could say, call for more info. That could say, I love it, just says work with Ellen Gruber. I mean, she says exactly what she wants you to do, right? So I thought these were some of the best. Know who you are. This is where I got the idea for the disc. Know who you are. She talks about who she is, and she tells a story guided by vision and values. She's goal focused. The readers will trust she'll do her best, and illustrates her role as a dreamer who makes things happen. Let's see what that says. So she's passionate about educating buyers and sellers on the real estate process. You can take, when you read through these and you like a line because it fits you, take the line. It's just take the line. I mean, you could say Ryan is passionate about educating buyers and sellers on the real estate process and committed to educating, mentoring, and supporting other realtors. Keeping in line with that commitment, she has begun training with the Pipeline Fellows as an angel investor.
Good, Tom.
She talks about some of the organizations she talks about who she's been recognized by. But at the end, she talks about born and raised in Nairobi, Kenya. She's attended college in Toronto, Canada, and now lives in Washington, D.C. with their loving husband, Rob, baby girl, Amazon, and brilliant Cup Cooper. Okay, so here's a checklist on this website that you can use. And I thought what we would do, we've got about 15 minutes left, and I thought what we would do is maybe just kind of do a workshop where we could do at least the first line of our bio. So I'd love for this to be interactive. So if everybody would take yourselves off mute, and let's talk about what the first line could be, or different first lines that we've seen in here. So anybody wanna say a first line? I have a couple. So can you see this one now?
Yeah.
So I'm working on my bio, which I think is way too long. This is one that was written professionally for me. Candace Story has been in the business of bringing buyers and sellers together for more than 20 years. I think I'm going to change that to meet Candace Story. Here's another first line. Real estate, this is one I wrote. Real estate is part art and science, and blending the two successfully is how Candace helps buyers and sellers have seamless experiences and profitable results. Let's get creative here, guys. I'm going to jot some of them down as we say them. So what does the first line of your bio say, or what would you want it to say? This is a no judgment zone. This is brainstorming year. We'll all get a great idea.
Say, I can't remember even what I wrote at one point, but it was right when I started. I had to come up with something.
Let's say Ryan.
But I do remember it. I read something that said your bio should never be more than 3 sentences.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
After
really,
that, no one's reading it. So
really, truly, the best of those bios was this guy. I mean, this one was la 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 la. I mean, this one was pretty good, but too long. This one was good, short, too long, too long, too long. Nice. My favorite, because it gives you a lot of information, but I can decide what I get choices here, and that's what I love about this. I can decide I want to read client testimonials. I can decide I want to read about, or I just can decide I want to work with Ellen Gruber. So let's go back to, okay, I promise you, if we do this now, it will make it easier when you sit down to do it, because it's hard. So let's say Ryan Kennedy has a passion for everybody can, this doesn't have to be Ryan. I'm not putting Ryan on the spot. What could Ryan have a passion for? This. I'm gonna do Deidre. Deidre bases. Deidre bases her business on the values of. Okay, guys, I see you still muted. Ashley.
My phone has switched me to safe driving mode, so I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay, well, please be in safe driving mode. Just talk. So Ashley, native, I'm making these up.
Native of Roswell.
Native of Roswell. Loves to share. Okay, Ashley, you tell me in there.
I don't know. Gosh.
Come on. So this is what I'm going to say. We are realtors. We love our adjectives. We love our descriptions, even if we don't like doing them. We still, when I walk into a home, I'll be like, look at those soaring ceilings. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm stuck in realtor head with the adjectives. But so let's say Ashley, native of Roswell, loves to share the community feel of Ashley. I'm going to say Ashley, a native of Roswell. Ashley, and I'm probably going to use on the first line, I'm going to use your first name.
Yeah.
As a native of Roswell. She loves to share the community feel of living
In a comfortable city with beautiful parks and historic, I don't know. Beautiful parks and historic,
and this is where I would open up my thesaurus.
yeah, presence, or, I don't know, historic.
Can you see that? I
Mhm.
just Googled free online thesaurus. So here's thesaurus.com. So I'm going to say aspect. Let's see what historical aspect. Let's see what comes up for that. Expression matter. No, that's not quite the right word. So let's say historical importance. Priority caliber readiness concernment. Probably not the right one either.
No, you could just say like a historic character.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Okay, so first line there. Okay, Deidre bases her business on the values of integrity. And as I'm using your names, these are not, I'm not writing your bios. I'm just writing examples, and I'm using your names so that you'll be engaged. I'm being very transparent here. So Deidre bases her business on the values of integrity, communication, and trust. Ryan has a passion for, Ryan, what do you have a passion for?
Well, I found,
Okay, sure, yeah, give me 1 second. Geez, actually, Nikki,
I found how I started mine, because I couldn't remember what I said about passion.
Oh, good.
yeah,
Okay.
around here.
But what I said was, Ryan Kennedy understands that your home is more than just a place to live where you make long lasting memories.
Oh, okay.
That's excellent.
So just started it a little differently.
I love that. Okay, I love that.
All right.
Okay, Ebony, do you have
Okay.
one?
I do.
What does yours
My,
say?
367 364.
well, I just came up with this. The real one says something completely different, but well, not the real one. This is the updated one, but it says realtor with the heart has a passion for poetry and a gift for helping people get what they need, not what they want. Hashtag forever your realtor.
It's not. There's
Love that.
it's an automatic thing in Shopify. We don't have to get rid of it.
Okay.
I hear some background noise. I hear
All
some,
right, and your total comes to
I hear some
106.67.
background noise.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I'm gonna. Okay. Okay, has a passion for poetry and what?
Has a passion for poetry and a gift for helping people get what they need and not what they want.
I would think about that sentence there.
Yeah, I'm not sold on it. Or because before I said get, I said seeing. I had seeing where I had getting, seeing what they need. You know, because sometimes we always focus on those wants, but those wants may not align with your next steps.
May I give you some feedback?
Sure.
Okay, so if I'm reading that, I'm like, I want what I need and I want what I want.
The 80-20 rule.
So I might change that to say helping people get what they need and what they want.
Okay. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Because I want both. I love that though. Okay. And then what came next?
Hashtag forever your realtor.
Love that. I love that.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's think about, okay, so Heather, how about Heather? Do you have one, Heather?
Yeah, I have one.
What does yours say?
Okay, hang on. Let me pull it up.
Don't drive
Sorry.
if you're driving.
No, I just got to the office, so I just set it up. Okay. Mine is just like one that I ripped off and duplicated. And it's really short. It just says, Keller Williams Realty Consultants has the latest cutting edge technology, including the new app, which allows me to stay up to date and in touch with the families I am helping. I love everything about real estate, from house hunting to house staging. I implement multi-level marketing strategies that benefit my clients with every transaction. Please give me a call or text for a no obligation assessment of your needs. And then like underneath that, I have certificates and programs, and then I have everything that I'm certified in. Like I have Keller Office Certified Agent, Keller Ready to Sell Certified Agent, Not Home Swap Certified Agent, Homeward Certified Agent, Dream America Certified Agent, Divvy Certified Agent, and I need to update it to add a few more that I've gotten behind me that I haven't updated because I'm like terrible at that. But
So I love that. It's even though it's first person, it works because it's like it's like she's talking to you, telling what she does. And then I also love the credibility that comes with all of the certifications, because now my impression is that Heather's been in business for a long time to have all those certifications. So that's a way to lend credibility as a new agent. I love that, Heather. Thank you.
thank you.
Anybody else on here want to share? Okay, I think we've got some. So let's talk about what quotes could you put in your bio. We saw some quotes, where he said, as the real estate industry changes, so do I. That was one quote. A quote that I, because as I started working on this weekend, I started working on updating my bio too, because I think it's too long and blah, 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 blah. It's just, whatever. But so I wrote, the relationships built and stories of those I meet and work with are my passion. That was a quote I came up with. Can anybody else think of a quote that would describe something you want to say about yourself or to give your personality to your bio?
I have one.
Okay.
And I'm coming up with these as we talk.
That's what this is for.
Okay. Damn, I forgot it. It's something like, in order, life is evolution. Like, in order to be great, you must continue to evolve.
I love that. That tells me a lot about who you are. It tells me that you're kind of like you're a dreamer and you're like you said, a poet. It really works with especially your first line.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, I'm starting to get a feel for who you are, which is, I think, one of the best things you can do in your bio is let people know, they can be really dry. I sat there and I thought, I wonder if anybody has a really fun bio. Like I saw a video on TikTok of the funniest flight attendant doing the pre-takeoff announcement, and it was hilarious. He was saying things like, underneath your seat, you will find in the event that we decide to go swimming, under your seat you will have a flotation device. No, an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow bikini, and it's not got polka dots, but it still is your yellow bikini. Put that on. And for those of you who like to do things the hard way, you can simply, for those of you who like to just be expedient, pull down on the tabs. But for those of you who like to do things the hard way, you can blow into the tubes on either side. Not sure if you'll make it in time, but you can try. I mean, it was kind of like showcasing his personality. And I thought, for somebody that's a really funny person, it would be fun to have a bio like that, as long as you could keep it somewhat professional. But anyway, so that's our class for this morning, or our huddle for this morning. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Can I go ahead?
I was just gonna say, this is good, and it makes you, like, even if you wrote something, you gotta go, okay, do I need to change some things? And like, you kind of do it and go, okay, that's done.
Yeah,
but,
and yeah.
You do need to think about it and change it, and maybe look at something else now. And I like adding in, some certifications. Of course, I didn't have that at first. Things like that you could do.
Yeah, that was a great tip. That was a pro tip, Heather, as Dustin says. So one of the things I would just encourage you to do is just do it. Get it done. Write a paragraph today. Think about it as something occurs to you, either record it on your phone or just jot it down if you're in a place where you can jot it down. And just remember, it doesn't have, I've had this stupid long one for, I don't know, 15 years, and I've still gotten business. It hasn't prevented me from getting business, not that I know of, but most important is just that you get one and then tweak it. You can continually tweak it and make it until it feels right. And the other big piece is, I think, just have someone neutral read it, someone who's not in the real estate industry. or have somebody who's in the real estate industry read it as if they were a home buyer or seller, and let them give you some feedback on it. And then don't get your feelings hurt if you spent, an hour poring over a sentence and somebody says that doesn't say what you think it says. Just take the criticism and run with it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you.
I can't
Thank
wait
you,
to see what
Candace.
your bios look like.
Thank you.
And I'll get my camera and my mic fixed so that we won't have this issue anymore. Bye.
Bye.